back to my channel. I have another video today in my reading journal, but first, before we do that, before we get into the fun, not disappointing things, let's talk about reading challenges. So this is going to be kind of my quarter check-in. How am I doing with the reading challenges that I set for myself at the beginning of the year? If you haven't watched those videos about the specific books that I want to read this year, I'm going to put them in the description box. I have my 10 classics and 2021 video that I want to read, and then I also have a video of 21 books that I own that I want to read in 2021. So I have those two videos, and then I have another video where I'm just talking about my reading goals in general. So let's go ahead and jump in to the reading goals. First up, let's talk about the 10 classics in 2021 that I want to read. I set myself a goal of 10 classics. Some of them I thought would be pretty easy to get to, and yet, as of April 1st, I've only completed one classic, and that was Emma by Jane Austen. So definitely need to get on the roll with that. As for reading plans, Invisible Man is my work book club, soon to be just library book club pick for, our discussion is for May, the first Wednesday of May. So I will be reading that this month. So that one is right there. Another classic that I'm hoping to get to very soon is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. It was one of the books that I talked about in my spring TBR video, and I feel like it would definitely be the book to read in the spring, so I'm hoping to read it in April as well. As for the other books, I mean, I've got two on here, three kind of, that I specifically want to read in the fall, closer to Halloween, and then Anna Karenina I'm planning to read in, I think, July and August with Carolyn Marie Reeds and Emmy. They're doing a Dickens versus Tolstoy debate/book club, and they're reading all of their works, which good for them. But I think I'm going to join them in July and August and read Anna Karenina with them, so that at least I have a plan for some of these other classics. So that I don't feel too bad about. Moving on, I have my 21 books that I own that I want to read in 2021, and I only read 2 of those. So I mean, yes, that's one more than I did read for my classics. However, percentage-wise, it's not good. So the books that I've read already were Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan, and then The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Let's see what these other books kind of bring us again. As for plans with these, Loveless, I really want to read soon. It's been on my TBR for the past 2 months and I still haven't read it, but let's try for April. And then The Gifted School by Bruce Holsinger, I think his name is, will be our book discussion for the beginning of June, so I'll be reading that in May. At least I have a plan for that one. And then the other books I have no plans for, and I need to make them, so fail. And then my last reading challenge for 2021 is to read all of the Goodreads nominees and the winner for the Best Fiction Award. So I have, and I'll show this to you once we go through my my bullet journal, my reading journal. I've only read, again, one book off of this list. I feel so much shame. But I am currently reading one. So I've read Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and I'm currently reading Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Jessie. So that's good. Other plans, I did order The Death of Vivek Oji for Book of the Month. And then I also have A Burning for my current TBR. I just checked that out from the library, so we'll see about that one. And the rest of them, again, I have no plans for, so I'm really hoping that I can get to them soon. Ugh. And then to kind of check in with my Modern Mrs. Darcy, like DIY build your own reading challenge, let's just kind of go over the prompts, okay? A book chosen for you by someone else. That could easily be any of my book club picks. An immigrant story. I don't think I've read an immigrant story yet, so I need to do that. A book by a favorite author. Not yet, but I've got plenty of opportunities for that because The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, I plan on reading that soon. And then also on my 21 books in 2021, I have Dreamer's Pool by Juliette Merlier, and she's one of my favorite authors. So either one of those will fit for that one. A book about a topic or subject you already love. I probably could fit this in so many ways. Well, I mean, like, I love fantasy retellings, specifically Hades and Persephone retellings, and I think I've read 3 of them so far this year, so I think that one's completed. A book set somewhere you've never been but want to visit. So it's really interesting. I don't like pay attention to settings as much unless they're like fantasy or sci-fi settings and like the setting is like a part of the story. So I'd really have to look at my read books already for the year to see for that one. A Pulitzer Prize or National Book Award winner, I have no idea. I have to look at each book specifically, but I can probably say that I have not read one of those yet. A book that was banned at some point. That's another one. I don't think I've read a banned book yet so far this year. But again, I'd have to check on that. A debut novel. I'm pretty sure I've read a debut novel. I think Girls of Paper and Fire was a debut. A book of any genre that addresses current events. Such a Fun Age does address like performative allyism. And I feel like that's a current topic. I'm doing a lot of anti-racism reading, so that definitely applies, you know. I read Intimations by Zadie Smith, which actually addresses the pandemic, so 100% that prompt has been filled. A book you've been meaning to read, that would apply to pretty much any book. Let's just glance through here. Little Women, for sure. Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I had borrowed it from the library, I think at least twice before I finally read it. Blood and Honey, the sequel to Serpent and Dove. Brown Girl Dreaming. I bought that ebook a long time ago and I finally read it. So that prompt I think has definitely been completed. A book that's more than 600 pages. I did read A Court of Silver Flames, which I think was a 775 or 57 pages. So definitely complete that prompt. A book you were excited to buy that you haven't read yet. All of my 21 books of 2021. Vivek Oji would definitely be one to fill that prompt with because I've been like, I really want to read it and I was excited to get it from Book of the Month. So yeah, I think for my Modern Mrs. Darcy reading challenge, I definitely am like on track for that one. So I'm really happy about that. And that is it for my reading challenges. The only other kind of challenge that I have is to read 100 books in a year, and I've now, I think, at the end of March had 43 books, and I was like 10 plus books ahead, so definitely on track for that one. So reading goals, kind of there. Let's go ahead and jump into the view of my reading journal. Let me show you where I've been. I definitely am not caught up yet. Like I said, at the end of March, I probably had hit 43 books and I've only filled out 41. So I'm a couple books behind, but let me just go ahead and show you what it looks like. Okay, so before we get started, I'll just go ahead and remind you, if you haven't seen my original book journal video for this year, I'm just using the Leuchtturm. I think it's a B6 Slim or something. It's got like the soft cover. It's a bit bigger than the the traditional bullet journal size. And I'm not going to go ahead and show you like why or what I did. That's in my previous video. But let's just go ahead and look here at my habit tracker. I really love filling this out. It's probably like one of my favorite parts of my reading journal. You can see for March, I completed every habit, if you will, for my reading tracker, and that's pretty cool. If you watched my earlier video of my 2021 reading journal setup, you'll remember that I said that I don't think I'm gonna need 2 pages for e-galleys. Boy, was I wrong. I'm probably gonna need more. I did also start with this kind of color coding system on the side here to kind of just to make it easier for me to find like what books are coming out specific months. So like here for February, I did like a pinkish color And then I've also just been checking off which ones I've read, and you'll notice that I've only checked off one on this list. Love is a Revolution by Renee Watson. So I like this color coding system. And then we've got my Goodreads best fiction page. I did cross off Such a Fun Age, and I'm just doing it in a different color. I'm not reading American Dirt because of all of the controversy and whatnot with it. It's just not something I'm interested in. I'm not interested in supporting the author, so I crossed that one out. But I did cross this one out with a different marker to just indicate that I read it, and then put my star rating underneath. And then I haven't changed anything on this page. Okay, and then here we get into like my reading log. This is probably my most, like, I just love it so much. I feel like it's so simple, and it's exactly what I wanted, and it's still cute in my opinion. So again, if you didn't watch that video, quickly, I'm just kind of trying to make sure I track the title, the author, the dates read, my rating, and the notes. And then for each book, I'm also kind of, here, let's go here to Girls of Paper and Fire, just kind of noting things like BIPOC, LGBT+, and that it's a book from my shelf. So just things like that. And then I've been trying to put stars for the books that I loved the most. Also been doing other stickers too for the books that I really love, like a little rainbow here for Felix Ever After, and I did a little butterfly for Little Women. And I'm kind of just doing like a rainbow theme. I love it so much. I have noticed that I'm using more like of the reds. Like there's so many hues of reds and pink that I have, and then blue I've just got like 2. And that's kind of where I'm at, where I've left it off. Something that I've been really liking about this is that I don't feel compelled to have to write a ton. Like, I read a couple of picture books in March, and like I don't really have a lot to say about picture books, so I just write, you know, like this was a virtual book display for my library's website, and that's all I have to say about it, you know? So I just really like it. This is what my reading journal looks like. I'm really loving the colors. It's just really fun, and I feel like in the future it'll be really fun to look back on this journal. So yeah. So there you have my kind of quarterly update for my reading journal and my reading challenges. I'm curious if you've made reading challenges. Are you sticking to them? How is it going? Because obviously I'm not doing that great, but it's all fun. I'm not super worried about it. I honestly set a Goodreads goal, like to read specific categories every year, and I've never completed it, so I'm not worried about it. Honestly, what would make me happy is to read Anna Karenina in its entirety and then read at least 5 of the books on my 21 books in 2021. That's where I'm at. I just reorganized my my TBR shelf for my 21 books in 2021. And I kind of want to show it to you just because I want to show it to you. So let me just go ahead and give you a quick shelf tour. Alrighty, so here is kind of just a little overview of what my TBR shelf is looking like right now. This gets reorganized like multiple times, but I just really love the way it looks right now. I think it's super cute. I have this mug cup bowl that I got from Hallmark, and it's just a Ravenclaw bowl, and then I've got a fake plant in it. I've got my, I don't want to call this my favorite pop, but this is Pippin, my favorite Lord of the Rings character, and I've got my beautiful collection of the Lord of the Rings series and The Hobbit right next to it. Beautiful. And then on this side, I've got this little plaque sign thing that my sister made for me for Christmas, and I've got this candle that says "You make the world a better place" that my friend Liz got for my birthday last year. I just love it. And you might think like this is a lot to put on a shelf, or it looks kind of cluttered, but I think it's adorable, and that's all that matters. And there you have it. That is my bookshelf. That is my reading journal. And that is the challenges that I'm doing and failing at so far this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel to support me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye!